Area models are really great ways to show why a number multiplies to make what it does. They're not always the most convenient way to find our answer quickly. Partial products is going to help us out a little bit when we start with decimal multiplication, and eventually that'll lead us to see it as standard algorithm. So if I take it right here, I'm doing 1 and 5/10 times 1 and 4/10. So I'm going to look at each part of my box individually. And this looks a little like the area model you used in 4th grade that would have had your 4 squares. And so here it would say 1 and 5/10, and here it would say 1 and 4/10. And for each box, you're going to find the product of the two numbers pictured. So here, if I look, I have 5/10 times 4/10, and it's all in purple. And I could count all these individual squares and count it up, but a tenth by a tenth is going to give me 100th. And 4 times 5 is going to give me 20. So I know my answer needs to be in the hundredths, so it's going to be 20 hundredths. If I look here, I have 4/10 times 1 whole. A whole times a tenth is a tenth. So 4 times 1 is 4. So my answer would be 4 tenths. Up at the top, 1 times 1, a whole times a whole is a whole, and 1 make 1. And over here in the red, 5/10 times 1 whole. Remember, a whole times a tenth is going to give me a tenth. My answer will end in the tenths place. So 5 times 1 is 5. So it would actually be 5 tenths. When I come over here and think of it like standard algorithm, 5/10 times 4/10 is 20 hundredths. Oh man. 5/10 times 1 is 5/10. And now I look to my next row, and I'm not worried about dropping zeros here because this isn't standard algorithm. This is part by part. It's partial quotient. 1 times 4/10 is 4/10. And 1 times 1 is 1. So if I look here, 5/10 and 4/10 is 9/10. And this is 20 hundredths. And this is 1 whole. So 9/10 and 2/10 give me 11/10, which would be 1 whole and 1/10. Plus this one right here, and my answer would be 2 and 1/10. It's going to turn out looking kind of the same way as your area model. It's just that your answers are going to pop in this. And remember, they can go in any order. It doesn't matter if you do the first numbers times the first numbers or whatever order you want to go in, as long as you get to the right answer at the end.